answer the question, trying to answer that's in the title of this workshop, which is how society responds to SNCC. And my first instinct was not very well, to this very day. I am speaking from the ground. I first walked into the SNCC office in October 1961. I became a staff member in 1962. So I'm the person who was using the hand crank mimeograph machine. I am the first one of the many people who would call the FBI and say, so-and-so is missing. Oh, really? Oh, really? We'll call you next week. I am one of the people who called people's parents and said, your son, your daughter has been arrested, and so forth. And I did that for several years, as well as writing on the Student Voice and press releases and so forth. Okay. So it seems to me that what society had here was a very unusual event. An autonomous, not non-controlled, not affiliated with any party, the Democratic Party, the Communist Party, any party, group of young people who were bent on going right to the heart of the matter. And how was the society going to cope with these young people? So there were certain various techniques to try to cripple SNCC's influence on the civil rights movement. And one, of course, was the old tried and true, the Red Baby. And it's very important for you to know that SNCC was one of the early civil rights organizations that internally decided it would not cooperate with the House Un-American Activities Committee and other governmental investigations. And it's my view that because SNCC decided to do that, and no doubt there was an informer at these meetings, they knew they were going to have their hands full if SNCC was going to be subpoenaed, because SNCC was not going to cooperate. Okay. Then what was the other way to deal with these young people? Well, it was to co-opt them in some kind of way, which is why Ms. Baker is our hero. She wouldn't let the young people affiliate with anybody. We were not going to be co-opted by anybody. SNCC tried to open the door, the famous James Baldwin quote, why be integrated into a burning house? And for a while, I think SNCC wanted to get in the door. And what has been overlooked to me, there is no book about the Atlantic City Convention that I know of in 1964. So that deals only with that convention. And that convention was the moment of SNCC's greatest triumph and greatest failure simultaneously, because the door would not open. And the people who were supposed to be our friends were the ones who stabbed us in the back. And this was a turning point. So there's this group of young people and this immense indigenous black movement that can't be controlled. How does society deal with that? So that's something that I hope will come up in the discussion, because it seems to be COINTELPRO and various other things, people will think of. We were lucky in those days because we had some really wonderful press people who understood what we were doing and who worked with us. And Mary King is here, and she knows some of the press people. There are many others. I'm not the only one who was on the ground in this room. Many others were. The press has really ignored SNCC, and I think it's only in the past maybe 10 years from now, in the last 10 years, sorry, that important books have been written about SNCC. There's an awful lot left to write. And SNCC, as an organization of independent-minded, fierce, unbelievably funny, intelligent people, is not in the consciousness of our people today in this country, and certainly not our young people. And this morning I went to one workshop, and people, of course, are saying, where is the generation? Well, this generation doesn't know, except, of course, in this conference, which is wonderful, that there was a model before. And the model now for the young people is, do you have your iPod? And do you have your iPad? And did but to get your iPad. So I hope that this conference will rectify that and that SNCC will be back where it belongs, which is in the forefront of the national consciousness.